interesse em fazer um curso de Azure DevOps, aprofundar seus conhecimentos, mais no beat da coisa, então eu tenho um treinamento especial para você de Azure DevOps, tá? Bem completinho, 100% online, 16 módulos, tá? Contando desde a criação de conta, como é que você usa seus backlogs, CI, CD, Azure Artefatos, configuração e gerenciamento da conta. Tudo isso disponível para você em um conteúdo 100% online, disponível para você realizá-lo a qualquer momento, no melhor momento para você, beleza? E no final do curso você também vai ter acesso a um certificado de conclusão, tá? E também você vai ter acesso a um grupo no Telegram comigo e com outros alunos para poder tirar suas dúvidas, seja durante o curso, seja no seu dia a dia do trabalho referente a Azure DevOps. A gente está ali para bater um papo sobre o assunto aí quando precisar, tá? Então, sinta-se à vontade quando você virar nosso aluno aí a fazer parte desse grupo no Telegram também, é bem bacana, tá? O valor do investimento para esse curso é de R$400, tá? Mas para você que está assistindo esse vídeo aqui hoje, eu estou deixando aqui na descrição do vídeo um cupomzinho de desconto bem especial de 15% para que você possa aproveitar esse treinamento com esse preço bem especial que eu separei para você aqui hoje, beleza? E aí, pessoal, tudo bem? Finalmente aí estamos nós ao vivo, né, para acompanhar essa apresentação do GitHub, né? Eles vão anunciar hoje alguma novidade, pelo que eles estão falando no site aí, bem bacana no produto deles. Vai ter algumas deep dives também com o CEO Nate Friedman, né, apresentando para vocês. E daqui a pouquinho aqui pelo contador deles falta 1 minuto e 15 segundos para começar, né? Se vocês verem algum problema aí, coloca no chat, que eu tô com o chat aberto, tá? Se o áudio estiver ruim, qualquer coisa assim, pra gente ver o que a gente consegue melhorar aqui para vocês, tá? Já queria pedir para vocês também, quem não tiver inscrito no canal, se inscreve aí no canal, clica no joinha, isso ajuda bastante a engajar os conteúdos, a saber que vocês estão gostando das coisas que a gente está trazendo aqui para o canal, né? Sobre se eu vou traduzir alguma, não simultâneo, né? Porque também meu inglês não é perfeito, Bruno, mas a gente vai tentar transportar para uma maneira mais fácil de entender o que for possível aqui também, tá? Tentar discutir um pouquinho sobre o que vai ser apresentado, e a gente vai tentar passar da melhor maneira possível com vocês. E está começando, deixa eu colocar para vocês aqui.
GitHub, we're so excited to be here today. I've been looking forward to this day and the news we're going to share with you here today for months. And the whole GitHub team has too. There's a lot of GitHub employees here in the room. There's a lot of developers, open source developers, developers locally here in San Francisco. And there's thousands more folks watching on the various live streams. So welcome this morning to GitHub. We're very excited.
Tem uma galera lá com eles, time do GitHub, desenvolvedores.
This is the second time in about 3.5 months that we've done a new product announcement on this stage, and it's a lot of fun. It's really great. We do one announcement, super crisp and exciting. And for those of you who are here in person, the GitHub employees who are here are the ones who built the product we're announcing, so they'd love to talk to you about what you think, get your feedback, answer your questions, that sort of thing. Before we get into our announcement today, I wanted to take a step back and sort of recap some of the recent things we've been up to at GitHub, because 2019 has been a very busy year at GitHub. We started the year in January by making private repos, unlimited private repos, free for all developers. It's pretty awesome.
Ilimitados repositórios para todos os desenvolvedores, ó.
At the beginning of spring, we announced the GitHub package registry so that you can share packages for private and public repos. You get a feed for every repo. We've had an awesome reception to that. We announced the acquisition of Dependabot to create automatic security remediation pull requests if you have vulnerable dependencies. That's now free for all developers. In May in Berlin, we announced GitHub Sponsors, which allows you to financially support the developers that you follow on GitHub. If you like their work, if you want them to do more of it, you have the option to subscribe and give them your patronage, which we're very excited about. It's been really well received. And then really recently, we announced PullPanda, the acquisition of PullPanda, which helps you and your teams more productively work together, stay on top of pull requests, reduce your code review times. Developers are loving PullPanda. And then just last month, we released GitHub Desktop 2.0,
Nunca usei desculpando não, mas parece ser bacana para partir com request, né? Boa aquisição. Vou dar uma olhada nele depois aí. Alguém de vocês já usou Desculpando?
This isn't everything though. This is really just the tip of the iceberg. The team has shipped over 100 new product enhancements just this year, so it's been awfully busy.
Casa cheia lá, hein?
The team has worked really hard here at GitHub, and I'm happy to share, though, that the momentum that we're seeing is not just in our engineering teams and the stuff we're shipping in the product, it's in the community as well.
Não sou o único.
And so today, I want to share with you that more developers are using GitHub now than ever before. And in fact, just this week, we hit a huge milestone with more than 40 million developers on GitHub. This is an astounding stat.
GitHub tá bombando.
If you go out and you read industry surveys, people will say there's about 15 to 20 million total developers in the world. So who are all these 40 million people then? That's what I want to know. Now, with so many developers on GitHub, we hear all the time from you, from developers, about what's exciting, what's fun, and also what's challenging about building software in 2019. And one of the things that comes up again and again is the need that developers and teams have to automate manual processes so that you can focus on the hard problems in the projects that you're building. So you can do the creative work and write the code that matters and automate everything else, eliminate the drudgery. So the way teams typically do this is there's a set of services and tools that are out there, and you'll kind of wire these together and connect them to build your workflows. And then you want those workflows to run perfectly every time. And these are things like you're doing a new release, and you need to draft the release notes, or issues and pull requests are coming in, and you want to triage and label those as they come in. Or, of course, you want to build, test, and deploy your code. So at the end of 2018, we introduced GitHub Actions.
Isso é verdade. Falavam muito que ia diminuir com a aquisição, mas na verdade só subiu.
And automation, and we launched it at our big annual conference, GitHub Universe, in October last year. And since then, tens of thousands of developers have been using Actions, and we've been getting a ton of great feedback. And your creations, you've been releasing them publicly. We've seen hundreds of really creative and inspiring actions open sourced or released on the GitHub Marketplace. But over the course of the last 9 months, as we've been receiving tons of feedback about GitHub Actions, there's one comment, one piece of feedback we hear again and again and again. You want GitHub Actions to do CI/CD. And so today, we're thrilled to announce all new GitHub Actions now with built-in support for CI/CD.
Aí sim. Tudo bem que a gente já tinha lá o Azure Pipelines que dava para trabalhar, mas foi trazer o CI/CD para dentro do GitHub nativamente, digamos assim. Uma ótima notícia, hein?
And when we decided to add CI/CD to GitHub, we didn't want to just
Carlão, isso é verdade. O pessoal tá percebendo que a Microsoft não é mais o mesmo, não.
Right?
Foi maior reiterismo no começo, lembra? Quando saiu a compra.
Developers want it to work. And so, first of all, GitHub Actions is fully integrated into GitHub. It's built in. From the merge box to the checks tab, from the UI to the API, it works the way GitHub works. Second, we know that you want to run jobs not just when someone pushes new code or on a pull request. You want to be able to trigger workflows on
praticamente
GitHub
Azure Pipelines dentro do GitHub, né?
A new contributor, a new
totalmente integrado com o GitHub, responde a qualquer evento do GitHub, qualquer plataforma, qualquer linguagem, qualquer nuvem. Basicamente, a mesma coisa.
Can now be used to trigger a workflow with GitHub Actions.
Verdade, teve aquela onda de migração para o GitLab, eu lembro disso.
GitHub's about sharing.
Falando que a Microsoft ia roubar seus códigos fontes.
GitHub Actions is shareable because ultimately it's just code in a repo. So you can make it public, you can fork it, you can edit it, build on it, and make it yours. And then finally, GitHub is agnostic. Whatever language you're using, whatever platform you're building for, wherever you're deploying your code, it'll work with GitHub Actions. And of course, because it's built in, we eliminate all the drudgery for you. There's no need to manually configure and set up CI/CD. You don't have to set up webhooks. You don't have to buy hardware. Go reserve some instances out there.
Bom, legal disso que agora tem que de ferramentas de terceiro para CI/CD.
Spool down, idle machines, none of that. We do everything for you. You just drop one file in your repo.
Poxa, realmente, a utilização do VS Code foi uma aceitação enorme. Eu mesmo não esperava tanto. Todo mundo hoje fala de VS Code. Qualquer linguagem, a galera tá falando, não, VS Code, VS Code, VS Code.
Come on up, Jeremy.
Caiu o áudio.
Really excited to show
voltou.
what we've been working on for the last couple of months with GitHub Actions. And I'm just one person that's part of a big team across all of GitHub.
Ô, Carlão, não. Volta lá pro curso, Carlos.
The best way to go see this is to actually see it live and in action. So let's jump into
Volta para Azure DevOps. Nada disso.
Repo is I built a simple node module that's never had CI/CD set up at all, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to get started with GitHub Actions. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go over here and click on the Actions tab right in this repository.
Demonstraçãozinha.
One of the things that you'll notice is we automatically suggested a set of workflows to help you get started. So we know that I'm using JavaScript in this repository. So we said, hey, here's 2 sample workflow files that you could use to get started. One of them sets up CI for a Node.js app. One of them looks at a package and not only does CI, but it also will deploy that to GitHub Package Registry and to NPM. But we know GitHub's a lot more than just a single language. We support any language, any platform, and any cloud. So if I go down, depending on what my repo code is in that, you'll notice we have starter CI templates for every single language you can imagine. So you can see Rust, Python. If I scroll down, you can see we have many more just to make it really easy for you to get started. But as Nat said, GitHub Actions is really a lot more than just CI/CD. It really can connect all of the different tools and services that you use. And it can respond to any event on GitHub.
Pessoal que não está inscrito no canal, se inscreve aí, dá joinha, tá? Isso ajuda bastante. Não esquecem não, hein?
A comment, someone new comes to your repository and joins as a member. So we have another set of workflows that you can get started with as well for a lot of common tasks that maintainers have to deal with, such as greeting a new contributor. You can go ahead and automate that if someone's a new contributor. You can automatically label issues based on files that are changed in the repository or label pull requests. And you can automatically mark and close stale issues. And these are really just the beginning of what I'm excited to see the community go and build. I think of GitHub, when it's at its best, we're really a canvas for developers to express their creativity and build lots of cool things. So let's go back up and just get started with CI/CD. So I'm going to click right here and set up this workflow. And what you'll notice is we automatically created a YAML file directly in your repository. So we have a very easy syntax that's easy to go and learn and get started with. We have a simple CI template, again, set up right here. And then you'll notice over here, we actually, just to make it even easier to get started, we have a sample of some of the common things developers want to go do. And then this has links to even more detailed help documentation on the format. So what I'm going to do is scroll down to actually do a matrix. So one of the things that we support is not just Linux, but you can build across Mac, Windows, and Linux.
Legal. Isso aí é bem interessante. Ele roda em qualquer uma das plataformas.
So I'll go over here, make some edits to this YAML file. And because it's just a file in my repository, I'm going to go through the normal process of committing and creating a pull request. So we'll go through and create a new branch.
É igual no Azure DevOps lá, né? Comita direto na master ou faz uma nova branch com
let's
YAML.
Go ahead and kick off a pull request. And what you'll notice is we immediately started running CI. So you can see the CI jobs coming in now, where we're running across Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. This is all right in your pull request, right in the merge box, right where you expect it to be. Now we can go over here and let's click on the details to go see what this is.
Legal.
GitHub now has live streaming logs built directly into the experience.
É a mesma carinha do Azure DevOps. Devem ter incorporado as pipelines ali para usar também.
Color coding and emoji support as well.
Cara,
so just
muito bacana ter isso integrado dentro do próprio GitHub, hein?
Your terminal, you see it right here in all of its glory and beauty. So over here you can see we already finished the Linux build. The Mac build is running as well, and then Windows is coming too. Maybe I want to go search my logs though. A lot of the times I'm looking for a test, or there's an error I'm trying to go find. So I can go over here and look for a specific test, get list, and I can search across all of my logs right there. If I click here, I can do other things too. Maybe I'm debugging a time-sensitive error, and I want to go show timestamps on every single line. Maybe I want to go download an archive of all the
Não deve nem ser Ctrl+C, Thiago. Deve ser por baixo dos panos, deve ser toda a mesma estrutura.
Right there in plain text. So this shows you how easy it is to get started, but let's look at a little bit more interesting case. So a lot of open source is really about building
fazer o quê? O Windows sempre demora pouquinho mais, não adianta.
File that does a little bit more. So one of the things you'll notice is right in my repository, I have a .github folder with workflows, and I can have multiple different workflows in there. So I have greetings already set up,
pouquinho pro lado porque eu tô vendo o vídeo no outro monitor, tá?
But if I had a large repository, you can even do filters on specific
Então,
apps.
Bertuzzi, eu acho que é. Eu acho que só mudaram a cara. Porque o Azure Pipeline já é bem parrudo, digamos assim, né? Bem estruturado. Como é da mesma empresa, eles só devem ter pegado a mesma plataforma e colocado por trás. É o mais provável.
Over here, you'll notice this on event. This is where you can specify the trigger for your workflow.
Até a estrutura do IEM lembra um pouco. Tem uns comandos aqui que eu tô vendo que são diferentes, mas a estrutura lembra bastante. Bom, é YAML, né? Eu não conheço as outras ferramentas de mercado muito bem, mas deve ser tudo mesmo, mais ou menos a mesma estrutura. Mas esse lance do Matrix OS me chamou a atenção. Eu não me lembro de ter algo assim no Azure DevOps.
So just to show you that, I can show you the broad list of events that we support here. And it's just about everything you can imagine: editing on a wiki, uploading a package to GitHub Package Registry, doing a deployment, a comment on an issue, whenever a label is created. Any of those events you can automate. So down here, what I've done is for this one, it's CI, so I'm just doing a couple code events. So I'm doing, okay, let's go ahead and kick this off whenever a pull request happens. But I only want to do that if the pull request is targeting the master branch. And same for push. So we have built-in filtering as well. We can filter on branches and then also file paths, and again, many more things. Down below here, you can see the jobs that are running in the build. So we have a matrix strategy running right here. So this one is doing a little bit more. It's not just building across 3 different operating systems. It's also building across multiple different versions of Node as well.
Legal,
and this doesn't have to be Node. It can be
diferentes
Go or
também.
any other runtime. So what this is doing is really multiplying this out. So there will be 9 simultaneous jobs kicked off at the same time. So what that allows you to do is really speed up your testing and deployment processes by doing all of this much faster and getting a much broader set of testing. Down here, these are the individual steps that are running inside this job. And this is where it gets really exciting for me to think about GitHub Actions. One of the things you'll notice is we have this uses command right here. So this lets you reference an action that lives in another repository. And one of the awesome things about this is you don't have to go install an action
que eles fizeram no Azure DevOps lá. Que você consegue consumir templates de build, aqui é a mesma coisa, só que aqui é uses.
And that is an action. So let's go over here and see this one. This one is living in the Actions org on GitHub, in the Setup Node repository, and the version of that one I'm picking is just a branch. So that could be a branch or a tag.
GitHub, que já era uma puta de uma ferramenta, tá ficando ainda melhor, né? E todo mundo, quando a Microsoft comprou, eu ficava falando, não, a Microsoft vai estragar o GitHub, isso e aquilo. Fez aquele, como o nosso amigo falou mais cedo, movimento de migração para o GitLab, mas a gente está vendo que é totalmente ao contrário.
So we can drill into the source for this. And we can see we wrote this one in TypeScript. And again, this is just a JavaScript file setting in a repository. That's how easy it is to get started with GitHub Actions. Again, when you think of the evolution of where the GitHub platforms come, originally we had commit status, where you could just post some basic data to let people know, hey,
prefiro não entrar nessa polêmica, Bertuzzi, mas eu também acho.
Where you could extend. Now you don't even have to worry about setting up compute or deploying a server or anything like that. You just go ahead and check a JavaScript file into a repo, and anyone on the entire GitHub community can go ahead and leverage that. So we're running that for
pouquinho aqui quando eu fui falar com o Bertuzzi ali, mas eu consigo consumir templates de repositórios públicos também, pelo que parece. Isso é bem legal, porque eu posso compartilhar os meus templates com a galera e a galera poder usar também. Isso é bem interessante.
So any tool that you can imagine that's out there that has a CLI, GitHub Actions supports it. Down below here, obviously, I've kicked off a lot of these build and tests all simultaneously. It's for a fan-out scenario. Now I want to fan back in to actually publish my packages. So in this case, I have 2 publishes going in parallel. So you can see I'm publishing to NPM right here. And then I'm also publishing to GitHub Package Registry. And this needs is basically saying, hey, whenever the build completes, whenever all those completes, go ahead and kick these off in parallel. And what you'll notice is obviously when I'm publishing to NPM, the last thing I'm going to be doing is checking my credentials into my source code. So GitHub has a built-in secrets store to make it easy to go ahead and deploy to any package registry or to any cloud. And you'll notice right here, I just set an environment variable, and I said, here's my token, and then I do secrets.npm token, and then that's how I reference our secret store. But let me show you where that is. It's right in your repository. So if you just click on settings, And then you go over to secrets, you can see my tokens
Legal,
right
legal. A
there.
gente armazena
The
os
secure
secrets no
secret store built
repositório
into every
para usar lá
repository
no
on GitHub.
CI/CD. Isso é bem bacana, hein? Isso aí ficou legal. Referenciar secrets ali.
Now, this is really interesting to see what we've done for being able to build, test, and deploy packages. Now I want to welcome up Mel, one of the maintainers of Yarn, to show how Yarn is using this for CI/CD, but then also an awesome action that he built.
Eu nem sei pronunciar o nome dele.
Hi. As you might know, Yarn is a quite large open source project, and that means that we have to interact with a lot of different people, users and contributors alike, in order to make it work. What you might not know is that we are also a very small core maintainer team, so in this context, anything we can do to decrease the maintenance
Sim, esse lance de compartilhar templates é legal. Eu já tinha achado legal quando eles trouxeram templates lá para o Azure DevOps, né? Que eu poderia compartilhar entre repositórios, mas privado, né? Agora isso aqui, compartilhando em repositório público, é muito legal, cara.
So when GitHub told me that they were working on enhancing actions, the first thing I did was to try out switching our existing CI workflow to this new system, and it actually worked. In fact, it actually worked so well that I had some extra time to spare on other things. So one thing I did in particular was about reproduction cases. See, one of the problems we have when working in the open source is that we often get issues, and most of the time isn't spent actually fixing those issues. Most of the time is often spent trying to understand the issues, try to figure out how to reproduce it. Is it actually a problem? Why can't I reproduce it? And then you go back to the author of the issue, and then you ask more information. And all of this is extremely time-consuming. So I wanted to try something in order to automate this process so that when I go to an issue, I know for sure how to reproduce it. So in order to do this, I built an action that is triggered each time an issue is opened. And when it happens, it finds out the code block surrounded by a special type of fences and runs it locally. And so, for example, in this case, it detected that there is this code block. It ran it inside a container, and then reported back on the issue to tell me whether the issue is reproducible or not. And it allows a lot of other use cases. For example, if I want to release a new version of the project, then the bot can just check whether all the opened issues are still valid or not. So this kind of automation is extremely valuable for us because working in the open source, as I mentioned, is extremely time-consuming. So the less time we have to spend on the maintenance side is the more time we can spend on the building the project, which is what really matters. Even better, those automated workflows also improve the quality of life of our external contributors, making it more likely that we will continue to get valuable contributions in the future.
Senti que a galera deu palmas nesse, não muito empolgado.
I love that action. It's just, I mean, Mel's being a little modest here. He actually started that yesterday.
Uma coisa que eu quero saber, como é que eu consigo uma jaqueta dessa? A jaqueta do Thiago preta ficou bem legal. Eu acho que é preta, a iluminação pode enganar.
That's what gets me up every day. It's like, why do I love to work at GitHub? I love to see what developers can do with the platform we build. It's just so exciting. And I think that Actions is this brand new part of the GitHub platform that'll really expand it out. You don't have to worry about running your code. You don't have to worry about a runtime. You can just write some JavaScript and automatically automate anything that happens on GitHub or anything on the entire GitHub ecosystem. And it's just amazing to see what people will build. And I know this is just the beginning. People are going to be remixing these actions into different workflows. And because they're just files in a repository, you can go to any open source project. You can go up to Yarn and be like, I love the way Yarn works. Let me see what those are. You can go ahead and
quase nada de Yarn. Vi que viajando na apresentação do cara.
You can copy them over, fork them, customize them, make them your own. So a core part of GitHub Actions is really about customizing that GitHub experience to make it your own so that you can focus on what matters, which is working on your code and your project. So we've shown you a couple different examples here. But obviously, we can do a lot more than build, test, and publish packages. Another core scenario is CI/CD for web services as well. So what I've got here in this repository is I'm actually building a container, testing it, and then I'm deploying it to multiple different clouds.
Legal, legal. Ele vai testar, vai fazer o deploy disso aí em múltiplas nuvens com isso aí.
And one of the things you'll notice, again, familiar syntax at the top on like and subscribe to any event. I'm looking at a couple different events here. And then I have this build job. Again, I'm checking out using a built-in action. And then I'm just running a script right here to go ahead and build a Docker image and then push this to GitHub package registry. Down here below, I'm immediately kicking off a deployment, but I could have had my event just be, hey, whenever something is pushed to GitHub package registry,
Ele vai criar o container, agora tá montando o deploy para AWS. Legal
but
também,
down
né?
below, what you'll notice is I'm also deploying to AWS, Azure, and
Depois
Google
deploy para
Cloud.
Azure e Google.
And with
Como eu
each one of
falei,
these, I'm using a
umas duas
specific
DevOps por
action
trás,
that's living in a
multi-cloud.
repo, add a specific branch or version. In this case, I'm passing in or setting environment variables. In this case, I'm passing in some parameters for a JavaScript action. But again, this is how easy it is just to
E não
get
é
set up
difícil, né? O script que ele está usando de demo aqui é um script simples até.
So now let's go over here and look at a pull request that I merged a little bit ago.
Ele vai mostrar rodando.
And see what the output of one of these looks like. So I'll go over to the checks. And just as you saw before, we have live logs that are all right there. I can go ahead and open this up right here and see the output of what happened while I was building this Docker container image. So you'll notice we also have code folding built directly in as well. So this allows you to really focus on what matters when you're reading the logs and not get kind of drowned in repetitive output. One of the cool things that we do here, though, is we actually color code and highlight the exact lines of what you wrote in your file. So you can easily see what did you wrote and how did we interpret that. So in this case, we took this and turned it into a shell script just to execute it. But again, if you had passed parameters or anything like that, you'll be able to see all of that right there. And then if I scroll down, you'll notice we've automatically color-coded this warning. So maybe this was an error or a warning. I actually am not really sure what this is telling me, so I want to go share this with somebody else and get some help. What I can do is just come over here, and with one click, I can copy a link directly to that line in the logs. Go over here. And you'll notice the entire page will refresh. We'll go ahead and scroll the logs down directly to the line.
Você consegue mandar o link do erro para a pessoa.
Highlighted. So again, when you're going to someone else, instead of telling them,
que legal
hey,
também,
open up this
hein?
step, go to this line number, they're digging, they're looking for what it is, you can
Você não precisa ficar procurando o log de onde deu erro ou o warning que seja. Consigo mandar o link certinho. Isso aqui também ficou... Onde você achou essa jaqueta por 30 toletas, Marcos?
So a big part of any deployment is obviously feature flags. So I'd like to welcome up Edith, the CEO of LaunchDarkly, to show how they're using GitHub Actions for CI/CD as well as the awesome action that they built.
I'm Edith Harbaugh. I'm the founder and CEO of LaunchDarkly. LaunchDarkly helps software teams worldwide deliver and control their software. Feature management is a best practice that's used by our customers like NBC, Intuit,
$30 hoje está dando R$117, já que tá caro.
Features a day. So I'm really passionate about feature flagging, and here is what I'm excited about in particular is
então, na conversão direta, $30 dá 117, não compro não.
Technical debt. So to back up a little bit, a feature flag is a way to ship a bit of code off and then selectively turn it on for
Esse feature flags é do GitHub também ou é ferramenta de terceiros?
And here we have
LaunchDarkly, ferramenta de terceiro.
That we selectively enabled to turn on to people after a certain date. You can also do stuff with us like a kill switch and even do a progressive rollout with some people at a time. So this feature is live, it's running great. I can go into our Insights tab. Yep, going really well.
Se fosse fácil, Marcos.
And now comes the hard part for a lot of people. Their feature is great out in the field, and it's like cleaning up your room. Nobody really wants to go and tidy up the socks. You're like, well, everything is great. So with GitHub Actions,
eu não lembro, Bertuzzi. Agora pior que eu não lembro mesmo.
And this tab allows you to click in and see exactly all the places where a feature
Deve ter, eu só não lembro.
And then you can go and view it in source. And it jumps down to exactly where it is in your source so that you can really easily clean it up. And this is all enabled by actions. So we've built an action here where every time somebody checks in code, it pushes out to LaunchDarkly exactly where the code is used.
Tem actions para o feature flag
so
do
now we have a
LaunchDarkly.
workflow where a developer could say when a feature is completely rolled out, they can go in, see exactly where it is, pull it out, and then have a much tidier code path without stale code. And this is all enabled by an extremely simple YAML file. This is just 18 lines of code. So very simple and very easy to use. LaunchDarkly itself has exactly
Já usaram LaunchDarkly ou alguma coisa parecida para Feature Flag? Eu ainda não trabalhei com nenhum, mas a ideia em si é bem interessante.
And we have both client and server-side support. So I'm personally very excited about this new feature of code references and how it was enabled by GitHub Actions. It was an honor to be part of the launch activities today.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy, Mel, and Edith. Isn't that awesome? I'm pretty excited. Let's recap a few of the highlights of what you just saw and some of the reasons that we're excited about GitHub Actions. So first, your GitHub Actions can run in a container or on a virtual machine with support for Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. Actions support matrix builds natively so that you can run parallel jobs across operating system versions, runtime versions, or any variable you want to use to multiply your workflows. And as Jeremy showed, Actions have built-in support for real-time feedback in the form of streaming logs that are searchable.
O Actions ficou legal. Multiplataforma em containers, matrix builds, search, streaming logs lá, a parte dos secrets também.
We know that a lot of the work that you need to do with GitHub Actions and in your workflows involves integrating third-party services and tools. And to do that securely, you don't want to put your tokens in your source code. You need a secret store. And so every repo on GitHub now comes with a secure secret store where you can store your secrets, update them easily. And then, of course, because it's GitHub, Actions are easy to write, they're easy to share, you can build on them. And this is really, I think, for me, at the core of what we're doing here. Right? Our worldview at GitHub is this view that software development is actually a global team sport. And we often think about developers as working in isolation, kind of solo on projects, alone in their rooms. But the truth is that every line of code we write builds on the work of thousands of other developers. And with GitHub Actions, because your workflows are just code, right, you can now build on people's workflows too. So we're really excited to open up this possibility for all of us to learn from the world's most productive, most inventive teams. I was also super blown away by Mel's action that he demoed earlier, where he can automatically check issues that get filed to see if they're reproducible or not. Like, that's an incredible creative idea, and now we can all go to Mel's repo and learn from that. And so I think that's incredibly exciting. And so to make this possible, we are making GitHub Actions completely free for public repositories. So if the open source community can use GitHub...
Legal, isso tudo está de graça para repositórios públicos.
Our aim is to support any community that chooses to use GitHub Actions for CI/CD or workflow automation. Now, for private repos, we're going to offer really simple pay-as-you-go per-minute pricing. Every GitHub user will get a bunch of free minutes
vai ficar igual ao DevOps Pro Actions também?
To get you started. And then above that, you'll just pay as you go. So you'll get anywhere between 2,000 minutes a month for free accounts, up to 50,000 minutes a month.
No Pro, 3.000 minutos, 10 minutos.
And then if you need extra minutes,
é mais ou menos o preço do Azure Pipelines, né?
Different prices for Linux, Windows, and Mac.
O Azure Pipelines dá 1.800 minutos de graça, eles estão dando 2.000 para repositórios para nível gratuito. Eu não sei como funciona o licenciamento do Pro Enterprise, tem que dar uma olhada.
To leverage GitHub for CI/CD and for workflow automation out of the box at no extra cost.
Sim. Agora a gente nem precisa do Jenkins, né, Marcos? Porque tem os pipelines lá, beleza. Mas se você não quer usar com GitHub, o GitHub tem próprio. Dá para você usar direto com GitHub sem precisar do Jenkins? Calma aí. Você vai poder colocar agentes privados do Actions para pipelines privados de graça?
It's super portable, runs on x86, runs on ARM.
Parece que é isso.
Runs on a Raspberry Pi, if you
want Raspberry Pi, mano.
So we're pretty thrilled about this. Look forward to getting your pull requests. Now, you heard from Mel and the Yarn project, but over the last several months, we've been so lucky to get to work with a bunch of really great open source projects on GitHub Actions. These are all projects that have been using Actions and providing us with feedback. They include awesome communities like SciPy and Bootstrap and Ruby and NumPy and others. And so later today, you'll be able to go to some of these repos like Yarn and Bootstrap and just look at their workflow files, see how they're using Actions, learn from them, and build on them. We're also incredibly lucky at GitHub to be working with some of the biggest companies in the world. And so we want to offer our thanks to companies like UBS, Dow Jones, Philips, and SAP for all their great
Bastante gente já usando o GitHub, hein?
so far as well. You know, thousands of developers at these companies rely on GitHub every single day to do their jobs, and we're honored to have the opportunity to serve their workflow automation and CI/CD needs as well. Now, one of the things that I find most amazing about GitHub is it's not just a tool that you use, it's also a platform that developers around the world can extend. And every day we see these different creative and unexpected ways that developers and companies are extending GitHub, extending developer workflows using the GitHub platform. And as Jeremy said, what's really exciting about GitHub Actions is it makes the platform more rich. It's a richer platform. There's more new ways that you can extend the platform. There's new APIs. There's new events that you can listen to, and any GitHub app can also generate its own custom events that can trigger workflows. So there's a real extensibility play here that we think is really exciting for developers. Any third party, like LaunchDarkly, can use Actions to trigger a CI/CD build or any other workflow and can listen on any event. And then you, as developers and your teams, can choose any tool in the world to integrate with GitHub through GitHub Actions very easily.
Eles estão colocando Circle CI ali, mas eu não preciso mais de Circle CI, né? Eles estão entregando tudo, para que eu vou usar Circle CI?
Like Circle CI or CodeFresh, GitHub gives you the choice, and that's very important to us. So we're working with all the companies that are listed here to provide great integration with GitHub Actions, and some of these have already released some integration, and some of it will be coming soon. I personally can't wait to see what the community does on GitHub Actions and to see more creative ideas get released and for us all to get to learn and kind of work like the best. So you can actually get started doing that today by signing up for the beta. So for those of you who are here in the room in San Francisco, we're going to be enabling GitHub Actions.
Sign up for beta today. Vou me inscrever já.
Accounts in the next 24 hours or so please be patient. Some people have already cornered me and been like, hey, it's not enabled yet. So,
não, concordo que eles não podem tirar quem já usa o Circle CI, mas você falar assim, usem o Circle CI, não sei, sabe? Não faz mais tanto sentido eles ficarem fazendo propaganda pro Circle CI. Pelo menos esse é meu pensamento. Pessoal, não esquece de se inscrever no canal, hein? Dá aquele joinha maroto aí.
We are not going to be in beta for long. In fact, we're planting a stake in the ground today.
Mas pode ser mesmo, Marcos. Pode ser para facilitar. Igual tem integração com Jenkins nas pipelines lá também. Eu particularmente só uso para migração. E vai liberar em novembro isso aqui, legal, tá perto já.
There will be 97-day countdowns in front of every GitHub developer over the next. And GitHub Package Registry we're also planning to make generally available at the same time. So that's just 97 days away. Please give it a try. Send us your feedback. People seem to have no trouble finding me on Twitter, so continue to do that. It's totally fine.
Sim, pode ser isso mesmo. E é ok, né? Sempre foi fácil na fila do beta, não sei, cara. Eu vou tentar. Esse evento parece bem legal também. Pena que, né? Estados Unidos, dólar tá alto, tem que trabalhar. Não ia pra esse evento aí também.
The GitHub team has worked awfully hard to get to this day.
Bom, eu quero brincar com esse negócio do GitHub aqui, pra ver como é que é, fazer uns videozinhos desses negócios.
Part of your day, part of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are with us today. We hope you're as excited about GitHub Actions as we are, and we look forward to hearing your feedback. Thank you very much.
Legal, pelo jeito acabou, né? Aparentemente acabou a apresentação em si. É, bem bacana, eu quero testar esse negócio aí. Deixa eu pausar que já acabou. Volta pra mim. Então, eu achei bem legal. Não sei o que vocês acharam aí pelas conversas com alguns que eu vi no chat aqui. Parece ser bem bacana tudo isso do Actions aqui, mas também, como eu falei lá atrás, tem tudo isso nas pipelines. Então, o que será que a Microsoft tá querendo fazer, né? Nós temos dois produtos fortes hoje no mercado, as pipelines, GitHub, os dois entregando o CI/CD de uma maneira bem bacana, bem legal, né? Vamos ver aí quem vai ganhar essa corrida, né? Os dois são para Enterprise, os dois têm projetos públicos. Do meu ponto de vista, de certa forma, os dois competem entre si. Não sei o que vocês acham, né? Mas vamos ver aí no que isso vai dar. Thiago, que curtiu, eu uso muito o GitHub, inclusive para Private. Então, eu particularmente, não sei se é porque eu nasci no TFS na época, comecei a mexer direto com o TFS, mas eu gosto muito do Azure DevOps. Eu praticamente fico só nele. Inclusive para a parte pública também, eu estou começando a colocar algumas coisas lá também para mim. Mas honestamente eu não sei para que lado vamos seguir, né? Essa parte do GitHub Actions aqui ficou bem legal, tá me chamando bastante atenção. E confesso que eu acho que vai chamar a atenção de muitos clientes aí também, né? Muita empresa é capaz de querer vir aqui para o GitHub Actions, parar de usar ferramentas de terceiros para vir para o GitHub Actions, porque realmente está bem legal. Vou me inscrever, terminando a live, fechando a live aqui já vou me inscrever lá no beta lá, e pra gente ver, fazer uns videozinhos pra galera aí, ver como é que fica, pra gente brincar junto nesse negócio. E do Azure Pipelines também, né? Eu não sei, tem muita gente que se incomoda com o nome Azure DevOps, né, e tal. Isso dificulta um pouco a chegada no mercado, né? GitHub é um nome mais forte, não sei. Vamos ver no que vai dar. Celção, você chegou agora, bem-vindo. Seu atrasado, acabou a apresentação do GitHub agora. Mas enfim, você perdeu a novidade do GitHub Actions. Dá uma assistida depois no vídeo desde o começo, a live vai ficar disponível aqui. Que agora basicamente a gente vai ter CI/CD direto no GitHub, sem precisar de ferramenta de terceiros, sem precisar de Azure Pipelines, sem precisar de Circle CI, tudo já bonitinho integrado ali dentro ali, e vai ter umas promoções bem legais ali para minutagem gratuito, projetos públicos vai ter as integrações gratuitas ali, bem bacana. Concordo, são 2 produtos, a Microsoft vai investir nos 2, mas pensa comigo. Os 2 caras fazem a mesma coisa. Os 2 caras atingem o mesmo público. É só um pensamento meu, tá? Eu não sei. Eu não vejo tanto sentido assim no investimento exatamente igual. Entende? Não sei. Posso estar totalmente equivocado. Espero que esteja. Porque eu gosto muito do Azure DevOps. Mas eu não sei. O que vocês viram aqui no Actions é exatamente igual, se não for até melhor talvez, não sei, só testando para ver, como o próprio Azure Pipelines. Então realmente não sei. Concordo, isso daí eu comentei no começo da live quando eu vi a apresentação do Actions ali mostrando o primeiro CI. Eu acho que ele está usando pipelines por trás, que é o que faz mais sentido, né? Já que eles investiram tanto ali para criar o pipelines, o pipelines é muito robusto, certeza que ele está usando pipelines por trás. Então, eu não preciso usar o pipeline diretamente porque ele já vai estar consumindo por trás. Então, aquela integração que eles fizeram lá do GitHub para o pipelines meio que fica se desnecessário, né? A não sei que você realmente queira usar o pipelines lá por algum motivo muito específico, mas o GitHub Actions vai fazer tudo igual, então vamos ver para onde isso caminha. Eu preciso encerrar a live aqui, espero que vocês tenham gostado aí. Mais pra frente vai ter uns videozinhos de Actions, se inscrevam lá para testar o Actions também como beta, e vamos que vamos. Se inscreve no canal também se você não está inscrito, deixe seu joinha e até mais. Amanhã vai ter vídeo novo no canal, hein? Amanhã, 10 horas da manhã, vídeo novo, hein? Não se esqueça, beleza? Falou, pessoal, aquele abraço.